Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique and this is my next video in my Decan journey, which I've been doing since November. And this is the Five of Pentacles, or Material Trouble, and runs from April 21st until the 30th, which was yesterday. Today is 1st of May, so May Day. May Day. That's interesting actually, because I found out the word why we say May Day when we're in trouble is because it's from the French May Day, which means help me. I thought that was really interesting. Anyway, back to the Five of Pentacles. Actually is relevant as well, but yeah, back to the video. So this is Mercury in Taurus, Mercury being the Magician, Taurus being the Hierophant, and Earth, it's a very slow energy is Earth, whereas Mercury is a very fast energy. So already we're in conflict here. It's a very conflicting energy. And I've just opened a new deck for the astrology side of it, this one here, the Numinous Astro deck. That's the authors. I'm not going to do a walkthrough of this deck. It's an astrology deck, and you'll find there's loads probably up on YouTube anyway. But I bought it because I thought I liked the aesthetic. And so also the book is really, really interesting. I'll come to that in a minute. But first of all, let's just take the cards. So we have Mercury for the Magician. Jade is the crystal assigned, and for Taurus and the Hierophant we have this card here, and it's got some nice keywords on the bottom as well, which is also very, very useful. So I thought, give this one a go. So we've got Earth and communication. So if Taurus is a very, very slow energy and Mercury is fast communication, then those two keywords together would make slow communication. So there is the conflict. And Taurus is all about security, structure, finances, home, health. And here we can see in the Five of Pentacles that the Taurus energy has, if it's to do with security, well then that security is threatened. And that's really highlighted on this card here. Fives are all about change, imbalance. They're assigned to Gebra on the Tree of Life, which has Mars energy, and so that is a destruction of progress. And that's very obvious in both the Thoth card, where we see those gears that have ground to a halt, and also on the Rider-Waite Smith. This actually made me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if anyone's heard of this. It's quite well known, and it's like it's a theory, Maslow's theory, back in the 1930s. Sorry, I just paused and looked that up. It was 1943. It's a paper entitled A Theory of Human Motivation, and Abraham Maslow, was an American psychologist. So this theory is saying that unless our basic needs are met, we can't self-actualize. And so he made a model of this, which is a pyramid. I'll just put an image of that above while I'm talking. So it's all about motivation, and he's broken it down to 5 categories. So unless we can meet the first level of that pyramid, we can't actually then meet the next level, and so on and so forth. So the first level is all to do about survival needs. So food, water, rest, clothing, shelter, health. So there's our basic needs that have to be met before we can actually move on to the next level. And then the next level is all to do with our safety. So protection from violence, from theft, emotional stability, health, security, even financial security. Once those needs have been met, then we can look to love and belonging needs. So emotional connection, that sort of thing, forming bonds with other people. Then when those are met, we can actually go to the next level, which is our esteem. So self-esteem, self-belief, self-confidence, personal growth, that sort of thing. So respect from other people, respect for ourselves. Once that's been met, then we can go on to the top level, level 5, and that's the self-actualization. Education, developing your skills, that sort of thing, refining your talents. That's when we can actually achieve those things and even help other people. So I thought that tied in really, really nicely as well with this Decan. So what has the church got to do with all this? Well, I thought about that too. Churches offer a lot of things, such as food banks. I know our local church has a food bank. Most do now. They offer community. They offer sanctuary. They help those that are in need, really. And these figures are outside the church, so that sort of speaks to abandonment, doesn't it? And they're travelling in snow, so they are literally out in the cold. And I don't know about anybody else, but walking in snow is not the easiest thing to do. And that just highlights the instability here in the card, along with the number 5. Because the number 5 again is about imbalance and change. And I really don't like snow. The first fall of snow is really okay. It's when it freezes over and then you get the second fall of snow. And yeah, I've ended up in hospital because I can't walk on it. And that's all reminding me of this guy on crutches here, because yeah, you're very unstable, I think, on these sort of conditions. And here we have snow falling on top of snow. So if that freezes over and ices, then yeah, it's very, very unstable place to be. There's no firm foundations there. You know, you can slip and really hurt yourself. And if we go back to the Taurus energy here, the Taurus is the bull, isn't it? We think, and then actually there it is on the card, the bull, who's really solid strength. And here we've lost that strength. We've lost that physical strength. I mean, this individual here is bandaged and head and legs, by the looks of it, feet, on crutches. So that really ties in there with Taurus. So I took a look at this book that comes with, the guidebook with the Numinous Astro deck, and I thought it was really interesting when they talked about Taurus here in sort of an advice type of entry, and it says Taurus means it's time to get back to the basics of love and self-worth. And that really tied in for me with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Confront any signs of scarcity mentality. Explore what's holding you back from believing in life's endless buffet. And I thought what else was also really good with this guidebook is they give associations here. So metals, gemstones, symbols, body parts, even a city, a scent, a style, and then the corresponding tarot card. So I thought that was brilliant. And for the planet, Mercury, it's got the keywords, but then it's also got the signs that it's assigned to, the houses, and the tarot card. So here we have the Magician, and its orbit, so 88 days. So that actually shows how fast that planet is, and it changes sign really rapidly, between 2 weeks to a month. So yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? And it's also saying when Mercury arrives, you're being asked to shake up storylines and open yourself up to winged ways in and out of seemingly stuck situation. Solicit new opinions, gather more information. Do some detective work to smoke out what's actually true for you in this moment and what's a holdover from a past that no longer fits with your present. So really good advice for the 5 of Pentacles, don't you think? So let's talk a little bit more about the imagery on the Rider-Waite-Smith, and in particular this window here, which I think the top of this card in this window here shows 5 pentacles as the top 5 on the tree of life. And it looks like an anchor in between as well. So these figures aren't anchored down yet. They are really concerned with their material plight. And so they can't access this top Sephira, which would represent more the spiritual side of life, because they're too worried about their physical needs. Also on the tree of life, this is assigned to a sire, and that is really low. The tree of life. I'll put a diagram above to show what I mean. But what it's saying really is it's a long, long way from spirit, and again lost in material concerns. And that's really highlighted on that card there. If we look to the Magician, I think what this card is saying really is that we have got the means, we have got the tools to change our situation. We can manifest what we need, even though we're not at the moment. And so that sort of goes in with the Numinous Astro deck as well, and what it was saying, because Mercury has the knowledge and it can turn things around quite fast, but then I suppose it also says that our fortunes can change really fast as well, and you know, our stability, the rug can be pulled from under our feet at any time. It can go from boom to bust in a heartbeat. With the Thoth Tarot, we can actually see a reversed pentagram here, and that indicates that the spirit, which would be here, would normally be on top there. So if I turn it around like that, that's what a pentagram would normally be, with the spirit on top. But because it's reversed, it means that the material aspect of life is taking precedence, because now the material part of life is at the top of that pentagram. And so that's where our concern is focused here, and not on the spiritual. The spiritual is the last thing we're thinking of, because like with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we've got to meet those needs first before we can look to the spiritual. I think that's really well illustrated in that Thoth deck. And the world is getting on top of us as well, isn't it? You can sort of make that analogy with that card. The symbols here that you can see on each of these discs are actually what's called tattvas. It's a Hindu symbols for elements. And so if you look at the triangle there, obviously that's fire, but if you look, it's faded. It's not bright red, it's actually pink, so it's blocked, really. That fire energy is blocked. So here we have black, which is spirit, blue, which is air, red for fire, silver for water, which is the moon, and yellow for earth, and the square is the earth sign here. So earth and fire are our main concerns here. And the fire element, as I said, is faded. The whole thing is blocked. You can see such a heavy energy in this card with those cogs, what look like cogs in the back. And that's echoed actually in the Cosmic Tarot. I'll just get the card and show. So it's this deck here, the Cosmic Tarot, Stevie Postman, text by Eric Gunther. I have shown this deck before in other Decan videos because I think it's brilliant. And here we have worry, or the 5 of discs. Mental anguish there, clearly shown. There's a spanner in those works, and the gears have all ground to a halt. So just like in here, everything's ground to a halt, and light is struggling to get in. And as I speak, the light just went in. The sun just went behind the clouds. Oh dear. Anyway, let's zoom in, and I'll just read you some from the book, not all, just some, because it's quite a lot. So it says, what are we so worried about? Worry is a difficult message from the soul that drags our moods into anxiety and bitterness. On the outside, worry deals with the issues of survival in the world. Will there be enough to eat? Will I have a place to live? Will other people love me? Will I be enslaved to the machine in order to survive? On the inside, worry assesses the condition of self-power. Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Am I smart enough? Am I beautiful enough? Worry contemplates the future based loosely on past experience filtered through present fears. What's interesting in the write-up as well is it says it can quickly become an obsessive loop in the mind where we assess and reassess the same situation, impotently looking for a way out. So it's just going round and round and round our head. Worry drains our power, makes us susceptible to manipulation and control by others. Very interesting take, isn't it? And talking about that leads me nicely on to a book I've been reading. I say nicely, there's nothing nice about this actually. And I'm sorry to be so depressive, but it's the Five of Pentacles, what can you do? I've been reading this book, Two Brothers by Ben Elton. Brilliant book. And it's based before the outbreak of World War II. And it's about two brothers who believed they were twins. But as it turns out, they weren't. The mother was actually pregnant with twins, one of whom died during childbirth. And in the same hospital, another woman gave birth to a German pure Aryan child and died during childbirth, and she was unmarried. And the child was given or offered to this mother, who took it on as her own. And as far as the boys were concerned, they were twins. They didn't know anything else until Hitler came into power, and it all went a bit dreadful. One being a Jew boy and one being what Hitler would deem purebred. And what happened as a consequence of that. And it's a difficult story, but it's a very human story. It's a history I actually didn't know about. I mean, I know as much as most people do about the Second World War and the atrocities that happened under Hitler's regime. What I didn't know was about the persecution leading up to that and how long it lasted. I was unaware. So this book sort of starts when they were born, which is 1920. And that was actually the same year that Hitler's movement started, really. It was the beginning of it. I don't know what year it actually goes up to because I haven't got to the end yet. But it's a retrospective from 1956. Anyway, I won't go into that too much. But what else blew my mind, actually, was looking at... not that one. Was when I was looking at this book, Tarot and Astrology, The Pursuit of Destiny by this author here. And I was looking at, find it, there we go. Five of Taurus, it's called, because it goes by star sign. It is difficult today to keep a cool viewpoint toward a birth date cycle whose famous names include both Hitler and Lenin. Hitler was born on the evening of April 20th, 1889, and the cycle that year changed during the day, making him unquestionably a Taurus 5. Ha! Okay, let's move on. That absolutely blew me away when I read that. I thought, I can't believe it. I can't believe the correlation that I'm finding when I'm looking at cards, you know, during the cycle. It just blows my mind what I come across. So let's have a little look at a few other decks. I was looking at the Anna K Tarot. Here. And we have the same sort of image, but it's an older couple. And I think that's really poignant, actually. They're giving each other comfort here. But this highlights for me ageism, because it's not often talked about, and it's a shame because these people may have given a lot to society and now they're on the outside unwanted. They have no physical contribution to society anymore. They aren't able to physically contribute, and so it's like they're abandoned now. They're useless. They're on the what would they call it? They're on the scrap heap. Yes, that's what we used to call it, on the scrap heap. No longer useful to society, and so outcast. And I think that's quite relevant today. It's difficult enough getting older with all the health problems that brings. And I've seen a lot of people go into depression and loneliness because no one wants to be around them anymore. And I think it's just so damn sad. It really is. It breaks my heart. So that's this deck here, the Anna K Tarot. The box is sort of falling apart as well. I've had it a long time. One of my favourite decks, the Osho Zen Tarot, shows the Five of Rainbows, which is the Five of Pentacles. There's a little child behind a locked gate. I absolutely adore this image because I think it speaks to our inner child, the one that thinks we're not grown up enough, we're not this enough, we're not that enough. For some reason, we are being excluded. And we don't really understand why. What's wrong with me? Why can't I go through the gates? Why can't I join in? You know, those sort of feelings. Then if we look at the other end of the spectrum, here in the Bonefire Tarot, Gabby Angus West, lovely deck, we have a teenager having a strop. So instead of, let's try and focus it here. Come on, focus. There we go. Yes, so this is a teenager saying that life isn't fair. I've got this fire here burning in my chest. I'm wanting to do this, this and this, and you're saying no. You're being stubborn about it. There we go. There's a stubborn aspect of Taurus, and I want it my way, and I'm putting myself out here. This is my decision to come away from the fire and have a big sulk. I thought that was quite funny, really. I've been working about the past couple of weeks now with the Bright Future Tarot again. I did do an Unbox Your Deck challenge with this deck. I love this deck. And for the Five of Pentacles here, we've got dandelions. Change and disruption. No, well, the camera's not. There we go. There we go. And I think the thing about dandelions is that cycle, isn't it? That it's ever changing. You know, it starts as a seed, it grows into this beautiful yellow flower, turns into wishes. I really like this image for the Five of Pentacles because it gives us autonomy. It shows us that we can move on, we can move forward. We don't have to stay stuck in a Five of Pentacles situation. And there we go. And that's also the Lily White Tarot has got a sort of a similar theme here, only in a more pessimistic sort of way. So here we still have the seeds, but the flowers that it has produced are wilting. So I thought that was, you know, nice the way those two showed both sides of the Five of Pentacles. There is hope. And that was this deck here, the Lily White Tarot. So I've been working since the beginning of the year with this Tarot by the Moon by Victoria Constantino, which I've shown before. And this is, we get spreads each month. This is April. So we get a few spreads, and this one is called Coming Into Alignment, which I thought went really well with the Five of Pentacles energy and a way to heal from it. So I did this spread here. Where am I out of alignment? Where am I holding on to resistance? What is blocking me? How can I let go of it? What can I do to restore my balance? And what is the best way for me to come into alignment? And I found that really, really useful spread to do. And for it, what did I use? I used I used the Bright Future Tarot because like I said, I have been using that deck for a few weeks now. So I had the Six of Pentacles for where am I out of alignment, and I thought that was really funny because it's all about balance and exchange. What am I holding on to? Where am I holding on to resistance? I got the Universe, and that's opportunity. So resisting opportunity. What is blocking me was the Six of Wands and Victory. Interesting. How can I let go of it was Moon, which is all about illusion and fear. Makes sense. What can I do to restore my balance? I had the Three of Wands and creativity. So yeah, that's cool, isn't it? And what is the best way for me to come into alignment? Well, I got the Three of Cups, which is all to do with commitments. And so yeah, I did quite a bit of journaling on that one, which I found really useful for this Five of Pentacles season. So let's have a look at the messages from the ancestors. And I thought this also was cool because I pulled a card from this deck and it was Caregiver. Let's find it. Okay, found it. Caregiver there. I'll zoom in. It's looking a bit messy down here. Hold on. So yeah, this is the card that I actually drew. And it's all about support. So let's have a little look at the guidebook, Caregiver. And it says, you're a compassionate and caring person, so honour this calling to offer care and support to other beings. Do so from a place of non-attachment, with an intention of giving without receiving anything in return. Let it go. As challenging as this may be, the practice of doing so will free you from the habit of seeking something in return, such that when the response is less than anticipated, you will avoid feeling resentful. As well, it's time to take risks in asking for support from others, which for you can be challenging. It's a trap that you can easily fall into, one of avoiding asking or receiving anything for yourself. No need to martyr yourself, otherwise you could eventually end up feeling like a victim. And I thought, yes, the resentment of finding ourselves in this predicament and not being able to ask for help because of pride or for whatever reason is also another aspect of this card. So I thought that aligned really nicely as well. It's amazing how, like, throughout the Decan, as I'm working with it, and cards I'm pulling from other decks and the things I'm doing all align. And we've had a lot of talk about in the Tarot Tube community in these past week or so as well, about inclusion and diversity. So I thought it was very interesting that that was happening along the time of this Decan, but I'm not actually going any further with that. So shall we have a little look at the crystals now? So as usual, I've taken the crystals assigned from this Crystal Magic Tarot, Claire Gregory. And so for the Magician, we have Jade. And for the Hierophant, we have Sodalite. And we have Malachite for the Five of Pentacles. And I've been sleeping with these under my pillow every night. And they've really helped stabilise me. So let's go the Five of Pentacles, which in here it's called Coins, for Malachite. And it says, known as the Transformation Stone, Malachite is a deeply healing stone, helping you to change, move on, and grow spiritually. A wonderful crystal for helping to release you from negative patterns, break addictions, and heal the scars of traumatic past events or painful emotional wounds. Its forgiving energy instills self-worth, willpower, and commitment. When you have a broken heart, old emotional baggage that's weighing you down, or unprocessed grief, this deep green crystal will work deep in the dusty basement of your psyche, helping you to clear the debris and break through into the light. So on that note, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a blessed Beltane. And until the next time, take care. Bye friends, bye.